Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to yet another Home Arcade podcast. And tonight we're gonna be talking about a couple different things. We got voicemail. I want to talk about some of the videos that I made this week, and there's some updates to some of the information about like the Partycades. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, and if you're new here, live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can come join me live. You can watch on the replay, comment down below, you can comment live. And I try to make this interactive. This episode is trying to be like 10% more interactive than last week. We're going to try to do a 1-hour stream today because I used to do those, and I went to 30. We're going to try out a 1 hour again and see how that fares. So hello, if you're in the chat, and we'll get to you in just a second. But I want to show you some of these things that are going on. We're going to talk about Afterburner in a little bit. We got a good voicemail about that. But to jump right in, let's take a look at the, let's do it this way. So let's take a look at the QVC. Now, I did a video earlier today, or earlier this week, and it was talking about Defender and how there's, QVC has these Black Friday sales. But guess what? It's free shipping now. So before, when I made the video, it wasn't free shipping, and now it's free shipping. So check this out. If anyone's in the chat, anyone watching this video bought from the QVC recently, and they're paying for shipping, I don't know, reach out to them, see if you can get the free shipping. Hopefully they'll honor that. I don't know if they would do that. The other thing is they added Miss Pac-Man. So if you go look in here, there's now a Ms. Pac-Man version. I've said Mrs. Pac-Man before, and people get really upset when I say that. Sorry about that. I was 3 when I learned about that title, and I've probably been saying it wrong ever since, but yes. Anyway, so this one's interesting. Only has one button, and it has a lot of different games, and a lot of people are like, why isn't anyone talking about this games list? This is a pretty good games list. Let me know down in the comments which game you're really interested in. The other thing I wanted to show you is QVC. Hold on, I'm gonna have to just cut the music, just boom, just dry. Sorry, that cut might be a little weird to you, but I gotta show you QVC actually came out with a video in the last day, and this is where we're going to get... Sorry, I'm going to fix my... There we go, the focus. Okay, check this out. This is where we get some more information about this QVC. See, it's a light-up marquee. So we didn't know that because QVC was dumb and didn't put any information in their descriptions to say that actually has a light-up marquee. So all 4 of these cabinets, this Galaga, Ms. Pac-Man, and the Defender, and whatever the other one is, off the top of my head, I can't think of it. What is it? Super Pac-Man, that's right. They all have the light-up marquee. And this is actually kind of upsetting me because now they really took it to the next level. So if you take a look at these these Partycades, I have 2 Partycades. The first one I got only had like 4 games on it. Didn't have a light-up marquee, had the 5x4 screen, only had 1 speaker. There was just like everything wrong with it. Galaga audio was all messed up. The whole thing was slowed down. It was just like, come on. Then I bought the other one. I think it has 8 games on it, and that was a lot better. It was a lot better, but it didn't have a light-up marquee. But I paid $199 for it. And then these are like $214. Maybe earlier I said $199. I'm sorry, in my head, $214 is so close to $199, but it's $214 free shipping. That's a heck of a deal. And a lot of people have been talking about the lineup for Defender. And it's really got me going because those lineup of games look really good, and that like deserves its own cabinet. You know, there's so many, like I saw people in the Facebook groups that they are going to buy this Defender cabinet, this Defender Partycade with the 17-inch screen, take the guts out of it and put it in the Mortal Kombat with a custom control. And I really think that's really cool, but now you're paying like what, $450 or more for the legacy version of the Mortal Kombat, and then you're going to pay another $200 to kind of, you know, get the game lineup that you want, because that's right, Brad, it is a better games list. Because I don't know, it's just, now here's the thing, some people have been saying, now I do want to mention this guy here, right here on QVC in this video. And I don't know if it has anything to do with me, but he focused on a very similar thing that I focused on my video, saying that it's like a same size screen as the Arcade1Up. And I I don't watch every single QVC video, but I've never seen them say that. I've never heard them focus on that. And I'm wondering if this guy watched my video. Maybe it's a coincidence. But dude, if you watch my show or any of my stuff, you're from QVC, email me at consulkits@gmail.com because I'd love to chat with you. Like, even if it's just, you know, on the side or whatever, doesn't have to be like on YouTube or anything. But he I don't know. Is he? Anyway, so light up marquee. This is super exciting. If you want to get, check out QVC for their Black Friday special. And I think this is where you're going to find the deals this holiday season. Unfortunately, I've been looking, and none of the other deals, at least on QVC, maybe we'll find some specials at Walmart. But if you look at some of these Black Friday specials, it's like this weird markup, markdown thing. Like, this is already like a little overpriced. Maybe today this is the best deal you could find. I don't know. I've seen cheaper prices. But I'll give you an example of where I don't know if it's really a good deal. I mean, look at this. Free shipping, but it's $700. You can get this for $599 elsewhere, right? And then this one's $272. It's not really a good deal. There's this other one, $179. Okay, $179 for this one, but this is like an earlier model. It's just the Asteroids. Some people I've heard that they did pick this up. It was like a must-buy for them. Congrats to you. And it's probably not bad of a deal, but I don't know if this one has the light-up marquee. I don't know. If someone knows that, maybe they can comment below whether the Asteroids does. I don't think it does. Then these don't look like deals. And then check this one out. They got the Mortal Kombat. It's $559, right? Okay, so that one's $559. This one's $559. And if you go in here, there was one of them that had a Black Friday special. But where was it? There it is. It's the Street Fighter. So this one's $449. But I think you can find a $449 price, I want to say, at Walmart, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of like this markup and then mark down. And then the Namco one as well. And I was like, oh, is it an additional 10% off? Like, you get even more off? No. So this is $500, 10%, $50. It's a $50 markdown. So I don't know if it's really actually a very good deal. But going back to the Defender, like, do you guys want a full-size Defender that's not the Mortal Kombat reskinned, but a different game lineup? I think that's what people want. Like, they basically want the Partycade control panel. So one of the downsides of the control panel of the Defender, it's basically the downside of the Partycade, is it's got kind of like this short control panel, right? But hey, you're gonna sit pretty close to it. It's gonna hang on the wall, and maybe it's comfortable. I have played with it in a couple different ways where I sit on a stool or I stand. And if you get size just right, it's pretty good. But like, it's not very flexible. Like, if the way I had it hanging on the wall and then I was sitting down, like, it was only comfortable for a while. And then I was like, my arms are kind of just not sitting right. But I don't know. You could probably find anything wrong with anything if you stare at it long enough. But anyway, want to know what you guys think, but we're gonna get to the chat in just a second. I want to play a voicemail that'll kick us off into the next subject, and I think it's pretty good. So here it is. It's kind of somewhat related.
Hey, this is Steve V from Steve V's Man Cave Arcade, and I've been a listener of you and Ralph for probably about a year or two. I used to watch the One-Up Weekly quite a bit. And my question is, how do you feel about the reskinned legacy cabs? Now, a lot of people have different takes on it as far as, button configuration when they do the reskin. Why do you think they're doing it? I personally think it's because they're trying to keep them evergreen. So this is the way they could keep on bringing them back to retailers without changing too much. And with that being said, as far as not changing too much game-wise, do you think they should change maybe 2 or 3 games every year on those legacy cabs just to keep it fresh and make people want to continue buying them? Because obviously, if you buy one that has one game list and then next year they reskin it, but it's the same game list, would you buy that second cab with the exact complete same game list?
Right.
Me personally, I feel like if they just changed 2 or 3 games every year, people would continue buying the exact same legacy cab, just reskinned with a couple extra games. Like to hear what everybody thinks about that. Take care, and thanks for making some great content. Bye.
Hey, Stevie from Stevie's Man Cave. Thank you so much for that voicemail call. I really appreciate it. And so what he's talking about here, I think it's a really interesting subject. I think Arcade1Up is put themselves into a spot. It's a challenging spot where they're trying to figure out a way to lower cost. What we want is variations in cabinets. We want a specialty cab. Gotta remember, Arcade1Up Gen 1, the mold, was 90% the same for every single cabinet. That 10% that I'm just making up a number on, the control panel was the only difference. That's probably one of the reasons why they were able to maintain that $299 or $399 for a while. That's part of it. It's part of it. There's so much more to the pricing structure of Arcade1Up that's getting complicated, but I think they were trying to come up with a solution where they said they came out with these legacies. And the legacy, if you think about it, it's basically the Generation 1 mentality. Okay? It's like legacy has multiple terms to it. It's like we're going to make cookie cutter again. Cookie cutter in the sense that it's going to have the same shape. They're all going to, except for Tempest. Tempest is the exception of the legacy. But they're all going to have that similar. And then the artwork is different and the control panel's different. And then they can swap out some of the games. But they don't really swap out the games. They rotate. Like the Defender is basically the Mortal Kombat. And what he's saying is maybe they should swap out the games. And I think they should. They should try to like mix it up. Now, I don't think that people are going to buy the Mortal Kombat or the Defender. And if there's like a better Defender next time, that they're going to have both. Or, you know, like maybe you bought the Mortal Kombat 2. What I do think, maybe he's onto something. What I do think is if you got the Mortal Kombat 2, and then the Defender didn't have Mortal Kombat, like it didn't have the marquee title, and it did have a different control panel, then you're going to sell more. I think you're going to sell more because then, you know, maybe the shape is fine for it to be, but these lesser cabinets that are lesser known, that are not going to sell hundreds of thousands is what I'm talking about. Like Defender, I don't think they're going to sell 100,000 Defenders. And so if they can sell 3,000 or 10,000, then retailers will pick it up. And yeah, I do think they should have a more variety, but I think it'll cost them more technically because there's more games that they have to work out through the emulation. So thanks again for your voicemail. I'm going to jump to the chat here and let's see if I got it here. There we go. So I'm gonna try out the chat this way where it's really big and everyone can see it and I can scroll through. And I was seeing some of these earlier that I thought were, let's see, did I run out of buffer? I had there we go. Okay, Dawn of Time is here. You just picked up the Street Fighter 2 Partycade, hoping to get an upgrade. Use it to upgrade my Gen 1 Street Fighter. God, that's a good idea. I have a Gen 1 Street Fighter, and my Gen 1 Street Fighter, I don't know if you can see it, it's got one of those green lines in it. I bought it in 2018. It's that first generation model, and it finally has that green line in it. So I've been thinking like, okay, a Partycade for $199 or something around there. You could use the monitor, replace the monitor, and then bring the bezel with it to upgrade your Street Fighter. It's a pretty inexpensive way. I mean, it's better than if you have a Gen 1 Arcade1Up Street Fighter, do you go to a Big Blue? And in my case, the monitor is kind of messed up. So if I try to resell it, I'm like, oh, sorry, it's got a green line through it. So I don't know. Let's see. There was some other, I'm sorry, I'm skipping this because I got to try to catch up. I can't read everyone's comments, right? So there was some interesting ones in here that I saw when they were talking about the Partycade. Let's see. Walmart had the sticker on display that they'll be selling a Ms. Pac-Man countercade very soon. So that's cool. What we understand is that it appears as though QVC HSN has lost the exclusive. Maybe they never really had an exclusive. Maybe they were just the only retailer that picked up the Partycade. But now with Walmart picking it up, they're going to have it in store. What he's talking about is in the Facebook groups, there's someone that has taken a picture of the actual Walmart little sticker that says the price. Does it say the price? I think it just says it's the Partycade. And maybe it says it's the Miss Pac-Man. I don't know for sure that it was the Miss Pac-Man. But that's cool because when Walmart picks it up, I mean, you could just go, even if there was shipping, you could just go to the store and pick it up. Walmart often has free shipping because they have their own distribution and they can save money on that. The other thing is, keep in mind, if Walmart and Arcade1Up don't calculate things correctly, where they say, let's say, for example, Walmart buys 20,000 Partycades, but in the next 6 weeks, they can only sell 10,000 of them. And maybe they got a profit at that already, because they're wholesale, and how much they sell them for and how much they get them for. Sometimes they liquidate. Sometimes they just want to cycle through it. Maybe they're going to do Miss Pac-Man, and then they're going to do Defender in the next cycle, right? And a lot of times there's limited shelf space for the Arcade1Up cabinet. So it's unlike other products. Other products, like, you can get a variety, you got a small little pop or, whatever, those little collectibles, whatever it might be. Even a Nintendo Switch doesn't take up as much room, but a Partycade does, right? And so maybe we can get a clearance. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we'll, because even NBA Jam right now, which is something that was available, last year, is now on clearance at a lot of Walmarts. But it seems to be only in certain regions, and there's no way to find out if your store, believe me, I checked. I hit their API, and I ain't getting information from Walmart's API anymore. They have the security lockdown on that now. It asks for a CAPTCHA, and I don't think I can automate that. But anyway, and it's not even available in the app anymore, in-store prices. So go check your Walmart, swing by, and then scan with your phone or something like that and see if it's discounted. Look for price drops. I saw some people get an NBA Jam for like $150. Don't get your hopes up. You're probably going to go to Walmart. There's no deal. Probably. But maybe a 5% of you that are out there will get a deal. Maybe they will get a deal. So anyway, let's get going on the chat here some more. And we got a super chat. I got all 4. Sue me. So he got all. Whoa, you spent $1,000. What is $800, right? Whoa. You got all 4. Dude, David, like he's gonna look just like this guy, right? Where's it at? He's doing all 4. He's going to be with his earbuds calling in and be like, hey, guys, check it out. I got all these. And then making weird jokes. Okay, anyway. Dude, that's cool, David. Let's see. Truth Entertainment says, I love the Galaga 1, 2. All Galaga games and more are on there. See? John D., if you're listening, you're probably not, because you probably don't watch my content every single time I go live. But check this out. I've heard so many people basically what's going on with the Partycades. I made a couple of videos on it, so I'm getting a lot of comments about it recently, and I keep on hearing people are jealous is the word I want to use. They're not envious, because remember the difference between the word jealousy and envy? You're jealous if you just wish you had that. Envy is where you wish the other person didn't have that. So what we're talking about is the jealousy of games. The Partycade's new generation is a really good game lineup. Even with only 10 games, people are like, I want that Galaga lineup in my 3/4. But here's the thing. Keep in mind, it is technically kind of a 3/4. If you've never got a Partycade, it's not that bad. Everyone's got to make your own decision. I don't want to sit here and create some type of FOMO. That's not my goal. Make a conscious choice. Don't let, if it's a must buy for you because, it's going to work out for you. You have a door to hang it on. You have a wall to hang it on. There's an electrical outlet near there. Are you going to, like, what if you have the door, but you don't have the electrical outlet? My last house did. It was perfect. There was this closet door and nothing in front of it and an outlet perfectly next to it. And it was like, boom. So at this new house that I'm at, I'm not really sure which room I'm going to put it in. I haven't figured that out yet. So right now the 2 Partycades are just in a closet. And so I'll figure that out. But those are the things you got to think through. Just because it's the price doesn't know if you got to figure out if it's practical for you. Can you put it in your game room? I mean, I know I've seen some people, they actually drill a hole, fish wires, and make it where it's mounted on the wall, nice and clean, no wires dangling or anything. And I've even seen pictures of people that do 3 or 4 next to each other, and this is how they found space. And if you can pick them up for $100, $200, that's not bad. So we're going to move on to the chat. And the Real Smile Bit says, I got all of them, but Miss Pac-Man. Walmart is supposed to get the Miss Pac-Man. There we go. So we got that as well. QVC was bragging Partycades are exclusive to them. That's right. But now we got them at Walmart. That's very true. And those guys are talking to each other. We got an at Consultations. So, hey, that's really cool. At me if you want me to read your message. That would be really cool. Retrostasis says, I got the 3/4 Defender from Walmart. Gotta swap the Partycade guts and get the proper panel layout for it. See what I'm telling you? See, they're taking the 3/4 scale, and see, this is what it tells me. Retrostasis. He already bought the Defender. Let's just make an assumption that he bought it for $450, and now he's going to spend another $200. That means that he would be willing to pay $650 for a perfect Defender. You know, maybe that's what Arcade1Up should do, or maybe spend $5, do it for $5. You know, this is the thing I'm learning. Tron sold out at Target like right away. I think Tron's the underestimated cabinet. I think Arcade1Up like knew it would sell well, but it's sold out. You know, and retailers, how many do they buy? Was their minimum order 3,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000? They're gone from Target. I think Target bought a lot of Trons and they're gone because there's a huge untapped market of these older games that Arcade1Up has not been focusing on recently. But more recently, they are. Defender. A lot of people, like, in the last couple of weeks, my most popular video is the Defender Countercade. And the comments are like, oh, this is so great. This is so great. Untapped market. They did it early with Asteroids and Centipede, these kind of late 70s, early 80 games. And, of course, Pac-Man it's just saturated. But come on, these other ones, people want it. People want it. So the Defender will have a USB port, and you can swap out the first player, so you can use the USB controller for first player. May not be best solution, but it is an option. I think I heard from people that if you go look, did I mention that? Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, where if you look at, you know, some of these QVC items, some of them have USB, some of them don't. It's because like Miss Pac-Man, all the games on it are turn-style games, like multiple player, but they're not co-op. And so that's why it doesn't have the USB. I guess it doesn't need it. But then the legacy one does, because it has, you know, like Rampage and stuff, games that are multiple player. Let's see, at Console Kids did the $199 QVC Pac-Man change out last with Gen 1. Change out with so there's multiple. Okay, so there's kind of this topic. I'm going to read this guy's email that he mentioned to me, and it's kind of related, and I think it's a very interesting perspective. Okay? Very interesting perspective. So I'm going to try to demystify as much as I can. I don't know. Some of you may know about this already, but I'm guessing there's some that don't know this. So the guy's name is Ryan, and he says, I have never written to you before, but on occasion participated in live streams. I got duped by Walmart and Arcade1Up, so I wanted to share with you, and so we could warn the community. As you know, Arcade1Up has clear representation of what the Legacy Edition is in their official video showing the riser, game selection, and light up marquee. He watched the Psycho Gamer video yesterday with a link to the Black Friday deal from Walmart for a Capcom Legacy for $299. So this is what we all got to really, really focus on. We're looking for deals. Holiday season, you're looking for deals. You want to buy things for your friends, you know, as gifts, that type of thing. If you see an Arcade1Up cabinet for $299 or $315, is it a discount or is it a no riser? What do you guys think? Are you guys trained to focus and look to see what you're actually buying? Because that's the thing. I've seen this as well. On some of the Walmart listings, you'll literally see something that says no riser. So you look at Arcade1Up, and it'll say no riser in the description. And that's good, you know, because it's very clear messaging that you're buying something without a riser and you're going to get it. That's why the price is like $315 or $299. But some people will look at it, and there's this one as he showed. Let me see if I can share this real quick. So this is the one he saw. So this guy saw this, $299. That's a picture of a riser, right? And if I'm reading his email correctly, and maybe I'm not, he's showing there's this Legacy 12-in-1, and this is it right here. I'm gonna show it here. I'm gonna put it up here. He's saying that this guy right here, $299, add to cart. It shows a picture with a riser, so that's what he's thinking he's gonna get, right? And he says that the detailed description is very vague, leaving out so much detail that it's not clear what it really is. And I received this today very quickly, just ordered it yesterday, so that's cool that he got it very quickly. And he was surprised to see that this cheaper Walmart version does not include themed riser or a light-up marquee. So it's like, it's just someone at Walmart just simply mislabeled what they're selling and then mispictured it. $299. They start selling and they're like, yeah, this is great. I swear I've said this before. Like a year ago, this happened. They're like, yeah, wow, look at that. They sold. And then when they receive it, they're like, hey, what the heck? It didn't come with the riser. It didn't come with the light-up marquee. But I was clearly thinking that it would. I don't know. We got to call this out. This shouldn't happen. Now, I remember when Richard Ralph got married, he wanted a Pac-Man at his wedding. It was so cool, and he went to the store. I think he was on the phone with me when he was there, and he was like, man, so I'm going to get this Miss Pac-Man, and it's only $299. It's really, really cool. And then while he was assembling, he's like, what the hell, dude? It doesn't come with a riser. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, the $299 doesn't come with a riser. And he's like, I thought this one did. But see, on that one, he was in the store, and I think he just didn't notice the box. But if you're buying online and the listing says it comes with a riser, I think it should come with a riser, right? Like, that's messed up. That's really messed up. And I feel bad for those people that got it, that fell for that. But you know what I mean? I basically got duped or a mislisting. Because then now they shipped it to them and received it. What are they going to do? Ship it back? They're going to take it back to the store? They're just going to be like, well, I paid $299 for the one without a themed riser, and how are you going to get a themed riser? You can't buy themed riser. You can barely buy the risers on the without the cabinet. Those are hard to find sometimes. So maybe you can go to Walmart now. You're going to spend $50 for an unthemed riser. It's frustrating. It really is frustrating. So I'm going to play this next voicemail that I think is really good. So let's check it out. Hey, go away. All right, here we go.
Hey, Justin, this is Anthony, calling you from Newark, Ohio here, a.k.a. Big Vicious 75.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a long-time follower of you. Actually, when you and Justin you and RetroRGB were both in the 1UP Weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks that you guys ain't together anymore, but I guess we can talk about that another time. My question is, actually, it's about two of my dream cabs, kind of like holy grails, I guess you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired Navy, and I've worked on jets for 20 years, so I'm a huge, fighter jet fan. I love aviation and video games, and Afterburner, since I was a kid, was one of my favorite games, still is to this day. What are the chances you think of 1UP ever making a full-size Afterburner cab? To me, that's like the holy grail.
Yeah.
With the moving parts and all that, I don't know, it might be difficult, but, with everything moving forward, I guess maybe in a couple of years, do you ever foresee that happening? Having a full caged Afterburner, the full size one. I think it'd be killer. Just curious what you thought. And then the other question was, 19K Fox brought this up a couple weeks ago, and I know he's working on a project now where he's supposed to unveil it here, I guess, in the next couple of days. It's the 6-player X-Men. I know 1UP just released the 4-player, but I was curious if you think they'll ever release the 6-player.
Right.
Because if that's the case, I would love to pick that up and just bypass this 4-player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you thought about it, and hope to hear from you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for reaching out about it. So here, real quick, we're going to run through it quick. I don't think they're going to come out with an Afterburner that's a full size, and I'll get to that why in a second. I think if they do it, it's going to look like this. It's going to be this shape, which I I don't know. Maybe they'll do it like that type of thing. But your next question is, whether they're going to come out with the X-Men 6-player. So last year or earlier this year, I put together this thumbnail. This thumbnail was meant to be a video about the 4-player X-Men, and then like, hey, will Arcade1Up release a 6-player X-Men? Now, full disclosure, this is my plan in the video was when I was going to make the video, I was like, hey guys, on the thumbnail that you saw in X-Men, that's my Photoshop. That's not a real Arcade1Up 6-player. But this is what I think it's going to look like. It's going to be, because if John D was on a lot of 1UP Weekly during the time of X-Men being announced. And when he was on there, he was teasing like crazy all of these ideas and painting a picture, trying to connect all the dots. And in that video, I was basically going to say he was talking about 6-player X-Men. He was talking about multiple coin doors, which we later saw on the Simpsons, right? But I think this is the coin door, what it was going to look like. He was also talking about a cabinet that was going to be a 24-inch screen. I believe this is what he was talking about, because shipping 2 17-inch screens doesn't make any financial sense to me. If you're going to do an X-Men, it's going to be a 24-inch screen. It's going to look like this. I never made this video because the moment the prices went up, I thought to myself, that thing is totally not happening anytime soon. I think that Arcade1Up put together the idea of the 4-player X-Men, and when this came out, John was teasing that a 6-player might come out, but they didn't know the prices and costs were going to go way up. And then the moment like costs went up, they probably were like, how are we going to sell that? We know that Arcade1Up's minimum, and this is for direct to order, direct to consumer, they can purchase 3,000 to be manufactured, and they've done that before. The Burger Time, I think, was about 3,000. And if they can move those those cabinets direct to the community, they can make a little margin on it, right? Like they won't go in the hole. But there's also, John D also talked about there being a pro line, which we haven't seen yet. Big Blue is not a pro line. A larger cabinet, 7/8 size or something, much larger. I don't know if this was going to be in that, but they were going to cost more. I just don't think this will ever happen because of the price going way up. We'll see. We'll see. But they're kind of both related. So the reason that I think Arcade1Up wouldn't do the X-Men 6-player or the Afterburner is the same reason. Retail costs or direct-to-consumer costs would just be so high that very limited people would purchase. And the entire new design that Arcade1Up has, where I think there's 3 problems why the price is going up. 1, cost is going up, obviously, of parts, right? We'll get back to the chat here. Costs are going up. Then you got technology, they're increasing, right? People are buying less. Why are people buying less? Because the costs are up. Well, people are buying less, they have to charge more. Because don't think of it. This is wrong thinking. Arcade1Up can make a cabinet for, I'm just guessing numbers, $100. They sell it wholesale for $100, and then they sell it for $300. Boom, they make like a $100 profit. That's wrong thinking. That's incorrect thinking. It's Arcade1Up spends $1 million on producing an Arcade1Up cabinet, development time, employee cost, the hardware cost, all of that. And they guess they're going to sell X amount. And if they sell X amount and it costs this much, that project will either be over budget, under budget, with a profit, or without a profit. Think of it at more like a higher scale, right? And so if you know the prices are going up, so you have to raise the prices, the dynamics fully change. And so you're like, we're going to sell less. So if we make 10,000, we probably, if we were going to make 20,000 before at this price, we're probably only going to have to make 10,000, which means our costs are going to go even much because we're manufacturing actually less. So we have to raise the price actually even more. And then maybe they even want a bigger profit now. That could be like the 4th reason. So it's like all of the above is the idea. So then if you say we're going to make a cabinet that's really big, that's just going to change all the dynamics to the point where I just don't think anyone will buy it. Now, right in the chat here, we got Tomorrow's Ghost. He says, hey, right now on Arcade1Up's website, Ridge Racer, there's a teaser video about Ridge Racer. I thought we saw have we seen the Ridge Racer teaser video? Now I'm confused. I thought we already saw the Ridge Racer teaser video. Let's check it out here real quick. I think we saw this already. Wait a second. Okay, I haven't seen this. All right. I'm gonna go away. Wait, how do I go away? No, that's not me. There we go. Okay, I haven't seen this. All right, let's let's take a look at that. What is this all about? There's some things in here that I saw first glance. Let's see. Let's go here. That caught me. That I think was pretty cool. First of all, they finally did something. They did this wrong on KI. So right here, we're gonna turn this down. When they actually showed the gameplay, they didn't stretch it. They didn't stretch it. They kept it. It looks kind of like a 4x3, and they just added some bezels for the sake of YouTube. That's good. Let's take a look again real quick and see. That's cool animation. It's better animation than even the previous, what was it, Outrun? Okay, this is just all CGI. Their company, ThinkUp, does all that stuff. Model design. Yeah, that's more CGI stuff. Still image. Gameplay, probably ripped off from YouTube somewhere. In about 5 minutes, someone's going to be like, that was my upload. Actually, maybe wrong. That looks really crisp, actually. That could have been, maybe they reached whoever did the emulation. All right, there we go. Thanks for the tip, man. That's pretty cool. So, thank you, Tomorrow Ghost, for that. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's do. There we go. I get that Tron. That's enough one up for me. See, this is such a save little Justin. So why does Ridge Racer have live button if you only have leaderboards? Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. I think what it is they consider leaderboard only to fall under that brand of live, and maybe that's not right. Maybe that's not right. So Ridge Racer is looking like a cab will want to mod with more driving games. Just saying, it's a pretty good point. Let's see. There was one other thing that I wanted to shill and chat. You guys are hilarious. Let's see. There was another thing that I wanted to share tonight. We'll check it out. It's another voicemail. Another voicemail from Anthony. I think this one's really good. Now, we had basically the same intro as this previous one, but it's a different topic, and I think it's an interesting one. We can talk about it together.
I got a quick question for you. I know everybody, now with money and all these multi-case, everybody wants the 4-in-1s and the 12-in-1s. I was curious what you thought about just, like doing a Kickstarter program just for like a couple of the single game cabs, like Q-Bert or Spy Hunter or Robotron, games like that really only kind of, besides controls, the games go singly, by themselves. You can't really put multiple games on one cab with them. So I was just curious what you thought about that. I've been waiting to get a Q-Bert and a Robotron and, a couple of those other games like NFL Blitz, just single cabs. And hopefully they'll come out with something like that. Like I said, just curious what you thought. All right, thanks.
Yeah, thanks again, Anthony, for your voicemail. So in the chat, at ConsulKits, relating to this topic. So the topic is, what do you guys think of these very unique cabinets, like the idea of a Q-Bert or a Defender, a cabinet that, and here's how I'd like to put it, a different way of saying it. What if there was a cabinet designed by us? We designed it. Not me, but we, the community. The larger we, right? And so what that means is we would reach out to Arcade1Up as a community, there would be some type of Kickstarter that, or I don't know what platform it would be. It doesn't have to be Kickstarter, but John has mentioned this before, this idea where a way to really engage with the audience, to figure out exactly what they want, to build a cabinet that is just absolutely amazing. One of the ways is to figure out a way to get the feedback directly from the consumers. So the idea of the Kickstarter, the reason why I don't think they would ever really do a Kickstarter, but the point is all of us could say, yeah, did you say a larger we? I knew that was coming. All of us could say, right, oh, I would totally buy that. I would totally buy that. But as John has put it, it's this idea that, well, maybe if you're really serious, what if you put down $100? And then how many people would actually do it? So what if they're like, we want. I saw another person that messaged me that was like, what I want is a puzzle game. A puzzle game, it's just filled with a whole bunch of puzzles. Just every puzzle game that you can think of is just mashed up in this cabinet. And then a control panel that's kind of compatible with all of that. But it's kind of like a multicade, but like, just a very specific design. And maybe that's something Arcade1Up could do, but you kind of like have to, yeah, exactly. Dawn of Time. Put your Benjamins on the glass. Exactly. So yeah, Vic Vicious, thanks for all your calls. You had some really good, intriguing ones today. That's why I highlighted it. And there's another one that's kind of in a very similar vein. I'm just going to play this to kind of show like the interest for this idea. So here's yet another voicemail, and yeah, this is the one.
Hey Justin, my name's Keto. I've been watching your show for about a year now, and it's my first time calling in. This is going to be kind of a lot of different thoughts strung together, but I was thinking about how I wanted to see more puzzle games from Arcade1Up.
Puzzle games, yeah.
Like the Big Blue has Super Puzzle Fighter, which is one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. So I was super happy to see it there and really surprised. Did not expect that. But, puzzle games have a ton of replayability because every game you play is going to be different. And a lot of my arcade memories include games like Clacks and Puzzle Bobble.
Yep.
So that kind of led me to think that it would be amazing to have a puzzle game cabinet from Arcade1Up, but I know that would be pretty difficult since a lot of the arcade puzzle games kind of come from different developers.
Right.
So that led me to thinking about Arcade1Up's old Space Invaders cab, which is a title game. So, I think a title legacy cabinet would be amazing with Bubble Bobble and Puzzle Bobble and some other games from them. What are your thoughts on the idea of a title legacy cabinet?
So they've done title before, right? So title, the Space Invaders, right? And they have it. Have they done very many Taito? What would be really cool, like if they made one. Taito has a very unique shape of a cabinet, and that's one where maybe if they did it, they kind of actually try to get that Taito shape that they kept on releasing games in. I think one of the problems with is the way Arcade1Up thinks is they really focus on that marquee, that number one title for that cabinet. And let's see, the only mashup one they did was this Asteroids. Let me see. So I have it behind me. This is an Asteroid Centipede. It's their 12-in-1 that's kind of a mashup between two games. If you see it, you got Centipede artwork and you have Asteroids artwork, right? And they only did that the one time, right? And so, what would you do if that main title, you'd have to pick one. That's kind of Arcade1Up's way. If you're going to do like a real multicade, like an AtGames, right? And what's interesting is AtGames does have Taito as one of their publishers. And so, yeah, I don't know if it would sell a lot, but I like the idea, and maybe it could be combined with the Kickstarter idea. And again, the Kickstarter wouldn't be designed where you'd say, "Hey, I want to pay money up front." Like, that's not the point. And the point isn't for Arcade1Up to say, "We need your help funding this." I doubt that's the point. The point is to say someone has this idea. If you can raise the money, let's do it. And remember, Dragon's Lair was kind of like that. But then Dragon's Lair was a weird one where they kind of just got enough people in the community to kind of vote for it, but they didn't put any money down. But Arcade1Up kind of already agreed that they were going to do a Dragon's Lair. And for those of you that haven't heard, you can check that out. John D was on, speaking of Dragon's Lair, John D was on Your Average Gamer, and hit one in the chat if you watched it, 0 if you didn't. And then all the people that hit 0, go ahead and shame them. No, I'm kidding. But here's the idea. And we're going to get to that in a second. Sony 4K Vision, that's a good question. When I was going back to the Defender, does it have dip switch? That's the last thing I don't know. And I was thinking about asking John D. I don't even know if he knows. So I didn't even ask him. I was like, I wonder if he even knows if Defender has a dip switch setting. So, but going, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about in a second. A Sony 4K Vision, but John D was on Your Average Gamer. That's right. The weekly retro party was great, and so they talked about why Dragon's Lair is not out yet, and the reason why is because they're going back to the drawing board. They're not going to go with the cell phone idea. They're actually going to have like the same type of screen that the original Dragon's Lair had. And it's because of the feedback from the community, because we were so adamant. Like, I remember when it first came out, you could probably find a video of me going, that's clever. And I remember thinking of the technology point of view, the idea that I think it's the guy from Code Mystics and John were talking together. That's kind of the story. They're like, we got to get this price down for that second screen. What are the different options? And they're like, well, what if you put like a little web server basically in the PCB? It's on your network, it's connected, and you just go to your phone and you go to some address like Arcade1Up or whatever, and your router's like, oh, there it is, or there'd be some way to like access it, and it would basically stream this video, this website from your Arcade1Up that would real time show the scoreboard. That was the main idea. So you take some old phone, you know, and plug it in, but it's kind of connected through your Wi-Fi to get that score. And it's also just a web page, right? So you technically could like go to your computer and you would see the scores, and maybe you'd see the scores through arcade1up.com by logging in. There's a lot of different ways you could do it, and I thought that was a cool idea from a technology point of view. But from a product point of view, it was horrible, right? It was like, no, like just do it right. Especially with that niche of a cabinet, people will pay the extra money. But we'll find out. We'll see if they're going to put their money where their mouth is, you know. Are retailers going to pick it up? Is it going to be direct-to-consumer only? And how much will it be? Those are the remaining information that we have. Okay, so we're going to go back to, let me do this real quick. See if I can do this on the fly. I don't know if I can. Go here. Go here. Let me trust. There it is. Okay. All right, so what we're going to be looking at is if you take a look at, there it is. So go back to here and then go to here. Okay. It's tough. So I went through this, and through this entire thing, these guys are playing the game. Going back to the Defender, he's playing the game and explaining it through the menu. He's like, if you're playing the game, you can hold down this button. It takes back to the main menu. See, is that what he's talking about? See, he's playing Pac-Man.
As you sit down to play, you're going to be able to just push the one-player
button
in for about 5 seconds. And then up on the screen, you're going to see it go to the menu.
It's going to go to the menu.
That's where your 10 games.
So this is what I saw. I didn't really see any other information. I don't know if I can zoom in. Like, you know, what is there anything in here that says press this other button to access the game menu? You know, so that's what I don't know. Let's see if I can figure it out right now. I just took a picture. Okay, I pulled it up. All right. Maybe. Because we're assuming, this is a big assumption here, we're assuming that the Defender cabinet is a Pac-Man Plus. They're all the same, so they were all kind of made around the same time, so they all have very similar features. And so I think this says press A to select game? And then does this say move around to select the different games? But what's this say? Does it say press the C button or press this other button to access the game menu? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I just don't know if it has dip switch. Maybe someone can figure that out. But real quick, I was trying to see if I can get that answer for you. But unfortunately, that's the only part that I saw. And this girl's getting frustrated because she's keeps on dying. This game, she kind of makes it pretty fun looking though. You know, like the way she put some laughter in her gameplay. But anyway, this entire guy, I wish he would have showed more, but the video is only 8 minutes and he doesn't go into details. And then at least right here, I think the game timed out, or did he press the button? I think the game timed out and it was going to go into the game. And then it just shows the layout, but I don't know if there's any information about it having dip switch settings. So we can close that. See, what do you guys think? If the 2-player button allows the dip switch settings, yeah. Let's see. They have clear pics on QVC on the picture of Super Pac-Man reads, "Oh, player 2 goes to settings." So maybe it does. Maybe it does. Let me take a look at it. Man, what is going on here? Like, I don't. Anyway. Okay. Go there. We go there. I got to get used to this. Anyway, so. Yeah, then there's Very, Very Sneaky. You know, he's probably on top of it. I don't know. A lot of, like, even the, that new one, the new countercade, the Pong, I was surprised that even has dip switch settings. So I think maybe a lot of the newer ones are going to have dip switch settings. But I mean, you don't know, right? And until someone makes confirmation for each game. So yeah, I don't know. You see, even the new countercades have the dip switch settings, but until someone makes a 100% confirmation, it's hard to say. How about the Mortal Kombat cabinet reskinned as Defender with no Stargate, Robotron, or Joust? See, this goes back to the original thought of, like, a lot of people are really excited about the Defender, you know, this Defender version from the QVC because it has that great lineup. At least it has, you know, a lot of people are going crazy about the Wizard of War, the Sinistar, let's see, Joust, Defender. I had a couple comments specifically on Clax. Didn't really hear anyone talk about Tapper or Bubbles. Not really heard anyone going, "Oh my gosh, it does Rampage. That's so great." But maybe you're excited about that. I'm not sure. I'm just literally just from memory trying to remember what people commented on my video, and there was a lot of these, you know, it wasn't Rampage, but Joust, yeah. Bubbles, I didn't hear much about. Tapper, I didn't hear much about. Someone did comment that they wish the control scheme was a little bit better for a Tapper. That was mentioned. And then there were some comments related to excitement for the puzzle game Clax. Yeah, the game that they really were fond of. And that's the one, the Clax was the one that I remember picking that up for the Tengen NES cartridge. Yeah, so Chris 8, yeah, I think it does include Gorf. Is it not listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, they must have messed up. See? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They missed Gorf on this slide for sure. Because in their previous video, you could clearly see Gorf was included for sure. I think it's right here. You can see the game lineup.
You've never ever seen before, and for the very first time ever, they all have. I'm doing pretty good here.
Bubbles.
I think I'm doing an okay job. Oh my gosh, if these ghosts get me.
See, John kept on teasing Bubbles. It came out in a couple different formats. Yeah, Tapper is awesome. Bubbles is underrated. Big fan of Tapper here. Love playing Tapper on my Mortal Kombat Legacy cab. Soul Red says Tapper is great and Bubbles is surprisingly fun. Triple Jinx. Yeah, it said Gorf. Gorf is there. Budweiser Tapper was nice. Nicer than Root Beer Tapper. And Rampage is up to 3 players, sure. So you could use a USB controller, but it's just not the same. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting pick that they would put the Rampage on that cabinet. It's midway, you know, you're just going to group in some titles from the midway. Dawn of Time, he's saying I would buy a dedicated Bubbles Partycade. See, are they going to come out with a legacy Partycade so they can swap out the titles? Zohar, the wall hanging arcade thing is ridiculous. I think you're wrong. You're wrong, Zohar. It's not ridiculous. Let's all tell Zohar it's not ridiculous. Like, remember, they came up with this idea really early. We're talking 2019. Arcade1Up came out and debuted their products late, or 2018. They were started to deliver to people around late 2018. And very quickly at E3, so we're talking about 6 months later, they unveil the product idea of a Partycade that you hang on the wall. And what were people saying? The biggest problem with Arcade1Up is I'm going to run out of space. You know, so space and money is a very common thing, right? You're going to run out of space. You know, I keep on thinking of Michael B's shows, how he's made like 50 shows and half of them are about space. It's like if you boil it down, he's talking about space and money. He's like, I'm running out of space, I'm running out of money. Okay, I'm going to sell cabs to get more money and more space, right? The Partycade helped solve that problem. And they saw that coming. They marketed it wrong in the beginning. I remember they had this marketing company out of Canada. It's where they stole David McIntosh from. And there was this girl that worked there, and her big pitch was, say like you're in a dorm room. I'm like, sorry, honey. No one living in a dorm room is going to buy a Partycade. That's not a good pitch. That's not a good pitch. No. Say it's a kid and they want to hang it on the closet. Yeah, if mom or dad's going to buy that, or grandma from QVC, and maybe sell it to their kid, and they're going to be like, why isn't Fortnite on this? I shouldn't say that. I have a daughter that she loves Arcade1Up and the retro games. She really does. But she does also like the modern games when I introduced her to it. But here's the thing. The marketing for Partycade is, here's a less expensive Arcade1Up. Why aren't these $400? They're still $200. So it's good. It's a less expensive way to play Arcade1Ups. And it solves the space problem. Because if you could hang that on the wall, I mean, I've seen pictures, I'm going to say it again. I've seen pictures of people that are saying, like, they hang it up on the wall and they can fit tons of them on the wall, and there's tons of space because even the 3/4 scale, they stick out in your room, and you got to think about how the layout is. That's why Zohar's wrong about the Partycade. I'm shaming him for shaming Partycades. Then you got the Boss controller that's oversized upgrade sold by 99 Lives. You guys know what I'm talking about? The 99 Lives thing? Let's see. 99 Lives Arcade. You guys seen this, right? Wow. Okay, we're going to check it out right now. That guy, right? So this one's not for the Partycade, but come on, that looks so great. Now, some of these prices are, they're up there, but and this is the thing. Like, Arcade1Up looks at the community and sees what they do, and sometimes they integrate those. And this is something that I foresee Arcade1Up actually, I don't know if stealing is the right word, but if you look at the Partycade, here we go. Bam. Wow. Come on. Now, I'm waiting for Zohar in the chat. He's gonna that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's actually, I think it's really clever. I think it's really smart. Like, even if you're spending $200 on a Partycade, $150 for this expanded control panel, like, it's not a bad idea. Because you're like 350. You're like 350. And think about it. You could go spend $299, get no riser, $315 for like a legacy, for like the legacy version. If you go and you can get the Street Fighter, if you can get that for around $200, if you can find it, the Partycade version, and then go over here and pre-order this one, $150. Now the controls, you have to bring the controls with you. So this doesn't come with the controls, and I think the Street Fighter, am I right? The Street Fighter 2 Partycade only has one stick. Is that right? So you're going to have to get another stick. So it's going to cost you a little bit more money. But you hang this guy, I'd say hang it on the wall. I don't know if you want to hang this one on a door. I don't know. But it gives you that space. Like two people could and see, this is what Arcade1Up needs to do. They need to put this type of control panel on their 3/4 scale cabinet. Come on. Have it stick out. Have it be kind of angled a little bit. Pick the right cabinet that actually kind of did that anyway. And because it has that angle, two people could stand next to each other. You get that little extra space. You get a little bit, What do you guys think? Collector Zone says, the word on the street, something about new Arcade1Up coming arcade monitors. So I made a video. It's Unico that's making these monitors. I will get some more details soon. I'm hoping to get a sample version. And my plan for the new Unico screen, I got a couple reviews coming up in the next couple weeks. My back is feeling a lot better. Thank you so much for asking. I know some people reached out and asked if I'm feeling better. This last couple days have been great. I saw a doctor. She told me exactly what I needed to do to help out. I do have some back issues, but it's not the spine. It's just I need to lose some weight, and she's going to help me get on a good diet. I started a diet. I'm 2-3 weeks in. I'm losing weight. This is good. And so someone sent me a design, some products to review, and I told them, I was like, I'll be slow because I'm not feeling very well right now. But I'm feeling up to it. Even right now, I'm feeling pretty good. That's why I'm doing a little longer show than normal. I did those short shows because this seat is just hard to sit in for a long period of time with back pain. But I feel great right now. So that's good. My point is, some of the reviews are technical reviews that I'm going to try to get compatibility, to work out all the compatibility with various Arcade1Up cabinets. So I'm excited about that. And the same thing with Unico's product. Can you take a 19-inch Unico screen? The price is $250. Is it really 4x3? Is it IPS? What are the viewing angles? What's the lag like? I have a monitor lag tester that I've never showed off on this channel. I have looked at the original Gen 1 Arcade1Up cabinet. The very bottom of the screen is 17 milliseconds delay. That means on an average game that's 60 frames per second, you got 1 frame of lag at the bottom of the screen. But at the above of the screen, it's 14 milliseconds. I'm going to try to gather that information for Unico products, for Arcade1Up products. Is it worth the upgrade? Trial and test. What if you did a Raspberry Pi? What if you did, various HDMI products as your source input to the mod? Is that going to work? Is it going to stretch it? Is it going to shimmer it? I'll try to get into that. That is my goal. So Arcade1Up themselves, no clue if they have plans on coming up with a 19-inch screen, but clearly there's a supplier out there in China that has variety. And at least Unico is the one that's going to bring that to the market here in the U.S. with shipping. So we'll see. And we did get a super chat from Console Fanboy, and it says, "This is why you're wrong." I'm not going to read the rest. No, thank you for the super chat. You hang clocks, you hang pictures, and if you're Shotgun Sean, you hang amiibos. But you do not hang games on walls. You stand facing a wall is like the ending to the Blair Witch Project scene. Okay, that was worth reading. That was actually pretty funny, Zohar. I appreciate that. That was good. But no, you're still wrong. You can do it. dude, like, what's the difference? Think about it. There's a 3/4 scale right here. I could, at the same height, just hang it on the wall. Think about it. I'll do this. What if this was just a Partycade right here, hanging on the wall, and that's it? What if this was a Partycade just hanging on the wall? Come on, think about that, guys. Seriously, $200, maybe $250. Would you pay $250 for a Star Wars Partycade? All those people out there that didn't get their hands on the 3-game stand-up Star Wars, what if they came out with it in a Partycade format for $250? The Star Wars, an arcade wall. You're going to deprive all those people out there that maybe don't have the room for a 3/4 scale Star Wars, but they do have the room to hang that Star Wars on the wall. Now, Pontiac Joe, he says no Partycade. It's not for me. That's fantastic. If it's not for you, sounds good. But there's people out there that it's perfect for them. And we should be a little bit open to that. You know, people have different opinions. People have different thoughts, right? Like, sometimes I get comments on my video, and I work really, really hard on my responses because I swear to you, there's so often where I get a comment and I read it, and my instant reaction is, this person's hating on me, and I should return hate with hate. But I'm like, no, that's not what my mom taught me. You know, benefit of the doubt. And I don't know how many times, more often than not, I respond in kind, and the person responds elaborating on what they meant, and they weren't even being mean at all. At all. I misread their comment. I go back up and read, and I was wrong. I misread the comment. They were actually being super nice to me. So that immediate reaction that a lot of us have, maybe it's just me, to respond, you have to think about it. Let's get clarity. Do you care about being right, or you just care about sharing information? Do you care about just having a good time? And you try, like, you know, comment in my channels, and if you say something that might be taken mean, but could not be mean, I'm going to respond with kind. I'm going to try really hard to respond with kind. So my point is, there's a couple people that make comments on various videos, and their comments are very absolute. I try really, really hard to comment in kind to those, but this is where I think, and maybe it's just because it's a form, like if this person was actually talking to a group of people, they may have said it differently. Maybe they're in a hurry. So even then, I'm giving it a benefit of the doubt. But they'll say things like, why would you ever buy this? There's a recent one. Why would you ever buy this Arcade1Up when you can build one? And it struck me because I wanted to dig in. Why would he say that? What's the motivation for that comment? And my initial reaction was, does he basically want to say, I have the skills to build it, and you guys don't, you guys suck, I'm shaming you? Maybe not. Maybe he actually wants to know, like, why would anyone buy an Arcade1Up when you can emulate them all? Okay, why would he say that? Maybe he is not familiar with that there's many people in this community that they do emulate. They've already played all these games in the last 10 years through other forums, and they buy an Arcade1Up for a different reason. In fact, just down below, I got another comment from someone else that said, I love Arcade1Up. To be honest, they collect a lot of dust, but I still love looking at it. So that person may play Arcade1Up through, or those games through emulation all day long. And here's Console Fanboy deleting his own messages. And it was deleted by Don. And now it's exposed because I'm using this tool logged in as me, exactly who deleted Console Fanboy's message. And now Console Fanboy is going to go crazy on Don. And Don, you got to be careful, because the way I'm viewing, sharing this right now is with admin. So anyone with admin rights can clearly see. Let's see what Console Fanboy had to say. You're all done. Next videos in 3 days. I appreciate that, Don. You're all dumb. Like, yeah. Let's put Zohar in timeout for calling everyone in this room someone dumb. Let's not pin that message. There you go. Message deleted by Console Kits. Let's see. Did I do the wrong one? I'm not going to report you. I'm not going to hide you because, you know, you do the hide thing. The hide thing is actually like block for a while. I'm not going to add you as a moderator. But we'll just see. So anyway, you know, I don't really want to silence anyone here, but he's trying to be funny. I think he's trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny. I'm always in timeout. Okay, so here's the deal. It's kind of funny. He gave a super chat and then I time him out for 30 seconds. But here's the point, right? Like, I think we should, let's say that for a second. So why would Zohar call everyone in this room dumb? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. What is he actually trying to say? Maybe he's saying, maybe he just wants to tell everyone that he's making videos. Maybe he wants to tell everyone in this room that he has 3 videos coming up that are going to be the... Okay, it's put user in timeout. Boom, we got you, Zohar. Now you're timed out again. Let's see who he comes back as this time. Okay, so I think he just wants to share everyone that Console Fanboy is going to have 3 videos coming out. Not necessarily that everyone's dumb, but he's going to make a controversial video. And maybe he could have just said, you guys are awesome. I'm going to make controversial videos. Right? Anyway, going back to my original point, I've replied with kind with a lot of these people. And then, like, seriously, like, they respond with a lot of positivity. Like, it's a, you know, a valid point, right? Like, these people do know how to emulate, and they just really love game rooms, and Arcade1Up provides something that you can't get through just playing on a PC, you know, like, or there's a lot of people like myself, like, don't have the time, or it doesn't make sense for them to get into woodworking. That's something that skills I don't have. If I spent enough time to develop those skills, maybe I would be okay at it. I'm not sure. I don't really know. But the point is, I know a lot of people that are, you know, enjoy this show, and they comment below. Maybe they do have the skills, maybe they don't, but they still enjoy the product. You know, so in other words, when you're saying negative comments, you know, anyway, whatever, you get the point. You get the point. Whatever, guys. So what's the next topic? We're gonna try to do an extended episode. 19K Fox's show starts in 45 minutes. And so I want to make sure all you guys know that his video or his live stream is coming. Make sure you go check him out. Let him know that Console can sit you. I'd really appreciate that. You know, it'd be cool to know, let you know, 19K Fox know that I'm, you know, trying to support him as well. In fact, I will show you real quick. This is kind of funny. This is what happened today. If I can show you, hold on a second. I'm going to have to switch over here to this. Go to here. There it is. So I actually was preparing the show for tonight. And I had this great idea. This really, really great idea. And I thought, man, this is going to be so good. We're going to have a great conversation. And let me try this. And the topic, it's just like a perfect topic. I bet nobody in the home arcade space would have thought of this topic. There's no way. There's just no way. Because, you know, I'm so clever and I'm so unique. And there's just no way anybody else in home arcade would ever think of this. Ever, 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 ever. And so anyway, I'm like, okay. I'm putting together the presentation. You know, I put together this presentation. I use slides, and I was like, you know, all this artwork, and we'll do a share screen, you know, and I'll show you guys my thoughts, right? And I literally go in, I create the stream, I make the thumbnail. I spend 40 minutes making my thumbnail, and I'm sharing this because I think it's really funny. I think it's really funny. And this is the thumbnail I created for tonight's show, right? And I was like, this is so cool. tomorrow, November 1st, is when you can pick up the T2, right? And then you can get the Killer Instinct on the 10th. And then you can get Ridge Racer on the 22nd. I was like, this is really cool. I got 3 cabinets. I got this calendar behind there. Got this Texas November lineup, Arcade1Up. Let's go. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the new lineup. I go to hit send. I literally go to hit send and go, wait, there's another podcast in Home Arcade that's also on Sunday. 19K Fox. What's he talking about tonight? There's no way we're talking about the same thing, are we? No, it's the same thing. I was like, well, I came up with a calendar, but he's literally like, this week, the November lineup, this is it. And I was like, oh, man. Okay, that's okay. 19K Fox is a really cool dude. I would hate for 2 shows, a very similar community of people. If we're talking about exactly the same thing, that might get a little bit boring. Let's talk about Partycades tonight, guys. So I think this is a really interesting topic. This idea of we got these 3 cabinets that are coming out. That content, I'm looking forward to hearing what 19K Fox has to say on this topic. And my thoughts are, let's join him in the stream. If you're here, if you're here now, definitely go check that out tonight. So it's in like 45 minutes. But until then, let's chat and let's see. Yeah, I think that's funny. Yeah, let's be nice, right? But I think he makes really great content. He really does. Absolutely. That's right, Don. You were saying that. I said 19K Fox just lives down this road from you. Where did I hear that? I think it was in a Facebook message. I think that's right. Or maybe it was another. So, console fanboy, are you good? Let's see. Fun topic. Haha. My Sunday show normally goes off the rails. Yeah. So, be kind, Zohar. Be kind. And then we'll let you hang out. So, Akuma Rev, my boy, this guy right here is blowing it up. He says, hide your wives. 19K Fox is on in 45. Hide the wives. That's pretty funny. This guy also is putting it together, man. I've been watching his what they call the shorts. He's like, hey, let's get it to 200. You got the 200. He doesn't think he's gonna get a little more, dude. I think you're gonna go really far. You have Rev 5, man. Like he has a way to him. He has a persona. I think he can go beyond me. There's a lot of people that I think in the retro home arcade space that I think could go much further than what I've done. And many of them have, in fact. And Rev, put your quarters on the glass. I think that one's going to go really far. I remember, for example, there's these YouTubers, Gaming Off the Grid. And 1UP Weekly was pretty early. And Gaming Off the Grids was had joined our live stream. They were like in the chat. I was like, oh man, Gaming Off the Grid. That's clearly a channel, right? And I go look, and they have like 900 subscribers or something like that. I was like, oh. And then I learned they're from Des Moines. I'm from Des Moines, and I actually got to meet them at the Iowa Gaming Fest. Super cool dudes, right? I bought their. They have this Gaming Off the Grid beer glass because, dude, if you guys haven't checked out Gaming Off the Grid, like they talk about video games and they drink beer, like in every episode. And then they're always like, what are we drinking today? And the other guy's like, we're drinking this. And I don't know, just the format, it's all over the place. They have a lot of different formats. They're really good YouTubers, right? And now they have like 16,000 subscribers not a year later. Like they're growing fast. And you know why? They make great content. And they cover so much content all over the place. And that reminds me of Rev. He has a lot of humility, thinking that maybe he won't go very far in YouTube. But I see Rev going actually really far. Very far. YouTube is all about exposure and marketing, but you can't go very far if you don't have a strong personality. But if you do, it's just exposure at that point. People will like you. People will enjoy you. And I have to admit, when I first saw Rev, I was like, dude, this guy swears too much. That's what I thought. I was like, he's off the rails too much. That was my knee-jerk reaction. Who's this guy? Just very explicitives all over the place to the point where they're kind of disgusting. That's what I thought at first. But that was probably just my knee-jerk reaction when I saw him. But more, it's acquired taste, but I acquired it pretty quick. Like the guy, think he's cool. Also, I think he's shaped his personality ever so slightly. Just a little bit. I hope he continues to do that. We all got to grow and move and change and, you know. But, yeah. Anyway. Thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Anybody in South... Let's see. We got our boy. Where is it? Get to that in a second. Kumarev said something else. Message retract. What? Can I pull it back now? Yeah, 19K Fox is working on its own X-Men 6 player build. That's really cool. Do we want to do a poll? I don't think I can do a poll right now because I deleted the thing that will allow me to do the poll. Oh, wait, I could do it over here. I can do a poll. Can I do a poll? I can do a poll. Let's do a poll. T2, are we getting it? And ask the community. Let's see what we got. I don't think it's going to show up. We'll see. It'll see if it'll show up on the screen. But if you look, there it is. It is showing. And you get to see real time because I got it displayed on here. So is T2 something that you want to get? Look down below and we'll see what the poll says. Your calendar is missing Halo Infinite. Yeah. I love their channel. So unique. Yeah. I'm good, Polo. I've been facing a wall for hours playing. That's actually kind of funny. 1981 would be a good cab. I started following them after you mentioned When We Met. That's right. Gaming Off the Grid is a good show. They are really good. Yeah. Beers and games. Supposedly, Class of 1981 is coming out November 8th. Yeah, I saw, what is it? The pre-orders said they were going to come soon, you know? And, yeah, Nick reached out. He was like, dude, I'm serious. You're doing a good job, Nick. You really are. They need more recognition. I was saying, Lethal Enforcers took forever to beat. Consultations, Justin, have you played Ghost and Ghouls VPX table? It's great. I have not. I want to. There's a list of things that are on my to-do list. Getting into VPX tables. There's so many people that are mentioning this. You included. There's so many people. You and I think one other person. And that other person might be you as well. Yeah. There's a couple things that I want to be doing. Just seriously, I don't want to bring it up again, but like my back hurting is it has actually affected me. It's like I work all day and then do nothing. But I'm finally feeling better. But I want to do the Arcade1Up pinball mod. Dude, 3.1 looks sick. Like you can play, there's the 3 Arcade1Up tables, and then so you can play like 30 games right there. And then you can buy more Zen games directly from the Android store. So there's like a 4th little section. That looks pretty cool, man. And looking into the mod, I kind of want to dissect it. I think that engineer that's the developer behind it's doing some really cool, smart things with it. And I want to learn from that, you know? So let's see how the poll turned out. Let's end that poll. Let's see where it goes to. Hopefully that'll show up. Yeah, Chris, get a channel going. Let's see. We got 25%. 44 people voted. 25% of them said yes, they're going to get T2. 75% no. See, I think this is the thing. This is kind of the new trend. There's going to be less people that buy these cabs. They're more unique. They're more expensive. And, I think Arcade1Up knows that. I think they know that. That's one of the reasons why the price is higher. So there it is. Let's see. Partycades are great for a depth issue layout. Most of them are one player. The Arcade1Up pinball mods are great. For Halloween, I just played Night Slashers, and for the first time, what are your thoughts on it? What do you guys think of the game Night Slashers? It's not something that I've played in a while. I think so. Moonwalker, any form. Talk to Meatball Saucy. He's totally set up with a great build. Kong's, I think he's talking about something else. Dawn of Time said something and then retracted it. And people are asking about how the night was. 25% like squirt guns. See, there's this thing, you know, and I think, I don't know if this is true. I'd like to get to the bottom of it, but I believe the reason why they're squirt games is because when the original, like I think Home, am I wrong? Let me know if this is like just like an absolutely wrong thought. But my understanding is that there's rules for Arcade1Up or anything sold at retail or in the store where you can't make a gun that looks like a gun because there was rules in like the 90s where because there was some kid, I remember that when I was a kid, it was like, it's the same reason why the Duck Hunt is mostly orange. It needs to clearly not look like a gun. And of course, Arcade1Up probably wanted to do black guns like the original T2, but I bet their lawyers were like, there's this rule, we're going to sell it, we potentially could sell it here, we're going to have to make them different colors. What colors should they be? Oh, let's match the color scheme of the T2, do red and blue, people are going to complain. But and some of these rules are kind of like, I remember working with this one guy, and he was saying, yeah, like Amazon has all these rules. And I'm not saying Amazon has rules with color of gun or anything like that, but it is related to like the box has to have the title on it in a very specific way. And they had to spend all this extra money to get different certifications. And they have to like put a barrel connector on for supposed electronic interference, but it's a digital signal at a certain voltage that would actually never have the interference at a certain length. But they got to do all these things to satisfy these laws that are only enforced by some of the retailers. Like these are beyond FCC. Like the FCC doesn't care about these. Let's see. So we got a super chat from my family. It says, hot baths or hot tubs are the best for bad backs, better than pill paints. Dude, thank you. When I first had the back pain, the new house that I have has a jacuzzi tub, and I don't think I've ever had a jacuzzi tub. I lived in Colorado, and it had like an oversized tub, but it wasn't really jacuzzi. But this one's like a jacuzzi tub. And like we always take a shower like in our shower, and so we're kind of used to not taking baths in our family. Just I think our last house, the master bedroom, it was just a shower, right? There was no bathtub. But boy, when my back started hurting, like the day it was really bad, like 2-3 weeks ago, I did the bathtub just that one time, and I haven't taken a shower since. Just kidding. But I wake up every morning and I take a shower. You know, showers are something I usually don't do straight in the morning, but I hurt so much in the morning in the past that I've been doing that. Let's stop talking about that. But yeah, and then I've been avoiding pills. And when I went to the doctor's like, you got to control your inflammation. Like, you could go back and forth between Advil and Aleve. It'll really help. And so I kept on thinking, like, you need to take pain pills for the pain. But I was like, it was just a little uncomfortable. So, you know, whatever. So what I did was I just changed that up. And I'm starting to take it with food and whatever. Let's see. So thanks for the super chat. Plastic guns cause cancer in California. See? There you go. It's like a catch-22. You win some, you lose some. You know, that's weird. Let's see. So I hope they eventually add light guns to the iArcade. Man, see, that would be a tough one because I don't know if they could do it because, like, the iArcade only has Bluetooth, right? I think they need to, like, figure out a way to... They don't have USB. How could they expose it? Can you get away with light gun with Bluetooth? Maybe the game would... I don't know. Not sure. Yeah, Aleve is better for the back pain. So my doctor wanted me to go back and forth. So I've been doing that. And I noticed Aleve is better for me, but she wanted me to go back and forth. Anyway. So very good, Hollywood. Between Justin and 19K coming up, I'll be well entertained. Hope so. Dude, use cherry juice for the pain? We're going way off the rails. See, Bluetooth and a sensor bar. I just wonder if it would be... Well, maybe it would work. Maybe, because that one has like a really good Bluetooth, right? Isn't it like a 5 or something like high up there, and maybe that's low latency? I don't know. I haven't tried Bluetooth on the iArcade. What is my favorite Hollywood candy? I don't know, candy corn? My realtor brought us candy corn now, and it's all gone. But all the peanuts are still in there. There was like a mixed bag of things. Richard says, back in the arcade days at malls and pool halls, pizza joints, arcade controls had the grease of food on them. Ah, you're getting me hungry. I haven't had dinner yet, actually. I had lunch. After this, I'm going to have dinner. And I kind of want to have pizza. And the diet that I'm doing right now, I'm just watching my calories and eating at certain times. So pizza's not completely off the table. JJ says, TENS is a device that you connect electronic pads to, and it causes your muscles to get stimulated and loosen up. That's good to know. Oh, I see. Guns would need their own power source. Console Kids, I wish Arcade1Up would figure out a solution to get proper controls on T2. Yeah, I wonder if that opens up the possibility of mods, right? Like maybe they are required by some reason, by their lawyer or something, that they have to sell the T2 guns in color format. As Don so brilliantly brought out as squirt guns. They have to sell squirt guns. So anyway, maybe someone's going to build a mold, or maybe someone's going to be like, look, I'm just going to paint them black. I use this exact type of paint, and it works really good. Maybe. We'll see. Hollywood Polo says, Console Kits, Justin, what are your favorite pizza devices? Pizza devices. The microwave? The stove? Okay, Stock Gray. See, he lost 50 pounds in the last week. Scott, give us in one sentence, tell us your secret of how you lost 50 pounds in 9 weeks. And I hope it wasn't, I've been in the hospital for 9 weeks. I hope that's not the answer. So, keto pizza from Blaze is very good, and I have it on my diabetic diet. That's cool, Mike. Yeah, I've been looking into other ways to lose weight. I'm getting pretty excited. I'm scrolling so we don't see that right away. So what do you think of the new toys, new mini missile command? Oh, those little ones? I really like the Dance Dance Revolution mini one where you play with your fingers. I might get that one. I love Dance Dance Revolution. That one's really cool. Yeah, the new wave toys, I got to look into them more. I mean, right now I've been ignoring a lot of things. I've been ignoring a lot of products because I'm in a, like a purchase freeze. If you've been watching the podcast recently, I'm paying 2 mortgages right now, but the other house is being sold, and right now it's empty. But it closes November 24th. And then that's when the freeze is over, and then it'll take a little while to catch up on our savings because the cost of moving was a lot more than I thought it would be. But things will get back together, and then I'll look into buying toys again. I'm pretty excited, actually. Oh, pizza toppings. Oh, you can never go wrong with pepperoni for me. You know what I love? Casey's Pizza. Casey's Pizza in Iowa. And believe it or not, I would eat their sausage pizza. And I love their sausage pizza. But then I tried their hamburger pizza because you can go there and buy it by the slice. And hamburger, now I tell other people, like Mason came to Iowa, and I was like, you got to try this Casey's Pizza. And he did. And he was like, oh my God, it's amazing. It was really cool. There's all these like very Midwest things in like Iowa, Nebraska type of thing that we showed Mason Conrad too. He had never experienced. Ice cream from Culver's is an example. Ice cream from Culver's is amazing. I took Mason there. He's like, took a bite of it. And he doesn't normally get strawberry cheesecake. And I was like, you got to try their strawberry cheesecake. And he took a bite of it. He's like, oh my God, it's so good. I'm like, I told you. Anyway, Casey's Pizza, they have hamburger. And you think like, oh, I don't want hamburger. It tastes like sausage. It tastes better than sausage. It's like some weird sausage pizza, but it's just hamburger. I don't know. They call it hamburger. Is it hamburger? I don't know. but it tastes better than sausage, and I like spicy sausage. Anyway, so that's my favorite. I'll crave it. That specific pizza. Oh, not using light guns. Like, yeah. Are you talking about like using the potentiometer instead? It'll be a tough one because they particularly went with Sidon on it, or Sinden. Sorry, Sinden. They went with Sinden on the T2 cabinet, and so I don't know how you would mod it to a potentiometer since the entire input is going to be going through their driver or whatever. Hey, look, it just skipped past Zohar. So $20 super chat. I really appreciate the funding here. Showering the morning is dumb. This is why you end up smelling smelly all day. Then you go to bed smelly. Shower at night so your bed is clean and you're clean in the morning. You're welcome. And you also missed my super chat. Did you have another super chat? I'm sorry. Mean to do that. There we go. Moonwalker hanging on the door must buy. Zohar loves his he loves his Michael J. No, Michael J. He loves Michael, whether it's Michael J. Fox or Michael Jackson. All Michaels. He likes Mike of all trades. He loves Michael B. He loves Michael Jackson. And he loves, that's it. Nice job, Don. 22 pounds since August. So low carb, low sugar, low fat, moderate protein. Very good. Very good. So what I'm doing, and I'm not trying to make recommendations. It's just what I'm trying out. I'm trying out, what's it called? Intermittent fasting, which the version that I'm starting with is basically I only eat between noon and 8 o'clock. And today I ate at 1, which will stretch me to 9, which I'm going to end the show in 20 minutes. Everyone here is going to go hang out with 19K Fox, and I'm going to eat while being in the chat. We're all going to hang out together even more, right? And yeah, and by chance, just how it's working out, I'm kind of eating just a little bit less of the things that I shouldn't eat. So I'm going to try that for a while, see how I improve, and then kind of go from there. I want to work on eating healthier next. But that particular diet, like, I don't like breakfast. Like, I force myself to eat breakfast every morning. I don't like it. But I do it because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And so now I'm like, wait, there's a diet where you kind of skip breakfast? I'll do that naturally. Like, I literally force myself to eat breakfast because I don't really like it. So at noon, I'm kind of hungry. So like this fasting diet where you just, 16 hours from at night till noon, it's like easy for me. So I've been doing that for like 3 weeks, like never hungry, like not a problem. I just drink a little more coffee, a little bit more coffee. So we'll see how it works. You got to start with something, right? So new missile command replicate had HDMI out removed, so no buy for me. Still waiting on Qbert. Yeah. Let's see. Pontiac is saying all veggie pizza for him. AWOL 101 says running out of space and wanted an Arcade1Up to make Sega Star Wars trilogy. Do you think they will make that in the near future? I think they're going to make it. Near future, I don't know. Is that something that's coming out in 2022? I don't know. If I knew, I would wink at you. But I'm not winking at you because I don't know. Seriously, I don't. I really don't. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's going to happen eventually, but for all I know, you're waiting till 2025. I mean, like, they got Sega, they got Disney, they got Lucasfilms. It's all about, like, just those companies coming together and be like, you guys ready to make a ton of money? Sega, you in? Oh, you want your royalties that much? Okay, Disney, you in? Lucasfilm, yeah? Okay, we're going to do this? Is the timing right? Or should we wait until a new movie comes out? Like, when do you market it? When you're going to get your best bang for the buck? Do you wait for the prices to come down because you only have to spend X million dollars to buy the first, Is Walmart like, whoa, don't wait, don't do it yet, wait? You know, there's a lot of factors, so I don't know. And I'll know these companies work very closely together, and they think about timing because they all want to make good amount of money. And so I think that all is a part of it. It's all related. It's like, let's wait until this time to actually get it out there. Let's see. Sinden Kickstarter offer was red, blue, and black guns. Now, that's an interesting point. So Sinden, that's right. They sold black ones, didn't they? See, this could be the point where Sinden was direct to order. Maybe they're not going to sell on Amazon or these other retailers. My understanding is there's not actually like a law that said that's my understanding. I don't know exactly, but I've heard in certain situations there's retailers that have their own corporate policies that they push on their suppliers, their people that sell with them. And so you got to do all these certain things. And so maybe the Kickstarter for Sinden was like, yeah, they're not under any requirement to have it not, colorful. But Arcade1Up, I think they're really worried about, like, Walmart's like, oh, you manufactured 10,000 of them. Sweet. We don't want them because you made them black, and we won't sell black guns in our store. Something like that. I could be wrong. Let's see. Think we'll see a hack to add Konami beat-em-ups on The Simpsons? Okay, Nate. So the Arcade1Up cabinets, I think all of them are hacked now. So the Gen 1, you could sideload games on it, but Barry Sneaky is not. I don't think he's released that information public, but you can go to his eBay and be like, hey, buddy, can you hook me up? And I think he can help you out. And then Buck Hunter has been hacked, and the pinballs have been hacked. The only one that is publicly available, I think, is the Star Wars pinball. I'm sorry, the pinballs, because the developer behind it was like, yeah, I don't want to hurt Arcade1Up's business, but this is an interesting form factor that you download the firmware from their sites or get it, and you can kind of sideload those games, and then you can legally buy the pinball games from Zen. Now, when you do that, Arcade1Up doesn't get a piece of any of that money, and if they would have got their stuff together and put together a store, then Arcade1Up probably would have got a piece of you buying it directly from the store. But it is what it is. So I think the hackers, or whatever you want to call them, reverse engineers that have fully hacked the Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5 Arcade1Ups, just haven't really released them. But the basic idea is, I'll tell you, if there's any people out there that are really smart, if you go look at the Arcade1Up cabinet, you download the firmware. When you download the firmware, there's no real security on it. It's like compressed. And some firmware has a little bit of checks. Like I loaded the Pac-Man firmware that's meant for the mini consoles onto the actual Pac-Man, the 40th anniversary that I have behind me. So this 40th anniversary behind me at one point was running the firmware from the Pac-Man Mini. Now it doesn't work because the little console Pac-Man is meant for a 16:9 screen. It's meant for a television, right? And so it looked all funky on there, but it booted up and the controls did nothing. Like you moved the controls, it did nothing. So then I took the how did I do it? How did I fix it? The 40th anniversary firmware, I just put it back on it. Is that right? I think that's how I did it. So I got it restored. And so there's other people out there that are like, hey, all those firmwares that are out there, if they have the same chipset, you can kind of like load the other firmware on it. And this kind of came out like with the pinball machine as well. Like, hey, did you know you can download the update for the Zen Pinball Marvel and load it on a Star Wars? And there's just no security. And the security is expensive. They probably could have done some things, a custom bootloader that would check and see if this value is there, and but anyway, then there's no encryption, there's no signing, to my understanding. I think there's a little bit of security related to the ROMs and the emulators. Like the emulator won't execute unless it's a very specific list of games. But people have successfully modded the on-screen display code. It's like an INI file that says, where's the picture and where's the selection, and then load different ROMs that are on other machines that the emulator will allow, things like that. Whether or not it'll be done for The Simpsons, whether or not it'll be released, I don't know. I don't know. I can't predict the future. I think the easiest would be to take the ROMs, because probably the emulator they're using for Simpsons will probably also be the very similar emulator for the other Konami beat 'em ups. And I think maybe it's fully rooted anyway. Like someone could like put RetroArch on it or something and run whatever they want. But just everyone's afraid of like just publicly releasing it. So it's up to that if someone wants to do it. Let's see. 19K Fox video starts in 13 minutes. And I want to encourage everyone to go over there and check out his channel tonight. Let him know that Console Kids sent you, if that's not a regular location that you would go to. Let's see. Chris says, the stock 40th Pac-Man sucks. Hate to say it. Yeah, I like the wood grew on me. It's when I saw it in CES. I was like, oh, that wood actually looks pretty good. Mike says, if The Simpsons requires a day one patch like John D hinted, I can see Konami 4-player cab being hacked with all the games fairly quickly. That's a good point. It's a good point, Mac, or Mike. A lot of times, like, just them simply releasing the firmware is what triggers now we know how to do it. You unzip it or decompress it. We'll see. Maybe they put a little security on it. I used to work in hardware security, and I used to reverse engineer Wii's and Xboxes, and then give presentations on how, like, the failure of of the Wii, the failure of the GameCube, the failure of Xbox, and how their security was exploited when I worked for a security company, and those were great presentations to do. This is way before YouTube. And then, like, one of the best security measures that have been done in the past is you buy chipsets that have what's called hardware pairing. And so there's a unique key that's inside the chipset that's called asymmetrical key, and you can encrypt and sign your firmware with a key that only the publisher has, and the other key is inside the chip. So you basically create a scenario where you're the only one that can create the firmware that the device will boot up and play. And one of the problems with the original Xbox is they had all that security, but they use what's called a symmetrical key. And it means the same key used to validate or verify the signature is the same key to create it. And someone just got the key right on the box, and then they could just basically sign their own firmware. So I'll entertain you once, Zohar, but he says there's this... I don't understand what I'm looking at. All right, so he wants me to share this. He says it's going to be good, so it better be good. I think I've seen this. Oh my god. Watch this video gets demonetized. All right, I'm gonna cut it off there. Let's see, where are we at? Who is Miss? Let's see. Justin, buy Wizard of Walls on Steam for $10 now. It's a 3D reimagining of Wizard of War with online 4-player co-op and leaderboards. Thank you for the tip. Let me write that down. Wizard of Walls. You heard it from him. Let's see. Who has the Miss Pac-Man Dig Dug version? What's the SKU? See, I was looking into this because, like, the Pac-Man unit that I have doesn't have Dig Dug 1 and 2. And I was waiting for some of the firmwares to come out for Like, I think the Super Pac-Man is the thing. Like, I'm not suggesting that you go, do cross firmware. You got to be careful because you never know. You never know if the firmware. So first of all, like, it has to do with, like, some of them are like Realtek chips and some of them are all winner. And then if they're cross chipset, like, it's not going to be compatible at all. I think some of the series of cabinets, they use exactly the same SoC, exactly the same memory, and the firmware is exactly the same development kit. And you can totally load different firmware on a different one, and it'll just work. But then there's also, like, okay, different button layout, right? So when they configure the firmware, there's a configuration somewhere in there that says, this pinout is this button. And it's very possible that if you do the cross firmware thing, by chance the encoder, they decide to put the different buttons, in a different order. Or maybe your cabinet only has 2 buttons, but the other firmware requires 3 buttons for a certain game, and you're just kind of lost. So you'd have to, like, add the button and then figure out exactly what pin on the encoder that button should be at, and then you could play that. So be careful, of course, when you typically buy from Arcade1Up, that's ready to go and all set up, and you don't have that frustration. What's your opinion on Arcade1Up? Retrostasis says, what's your opinion on Arcade1Up releasing another Konami CAD with Mumesa, Sunset Riders, Buckley O'Hare, and G.I. Joe? That would be awesome. That would be amazing. One of the problems is, John D has mentioned this before, some of those are cross IP. So it's not necessarily cross-publisher. It's they would have to reach out with the people that own those properties and convince them to share the royalties with other people that also own the other properties. That's my understanding. So I think Moo Mesa and Bucky O'Hare, there's someone that owns that, and G.I. Joe obviously is not owned by Konami. So it's like Konami back in the day licensed the use of that art or that IP from someone else. And so although Konami was the publisher back in the day, the developer back in the day, Arcade1Up has to rework all those licenses. And, like, that's why The Simpsons only has Simpsons games on it, because I think it's, Konami and Disney, or Fox. 21st Century Fox was owned by Disney. No, I think it's not. That is true, but I think also who was involved in that was they had to get the people that own Simpsons as well, which is the very end. The very end of the Simpsons cartoon, do you remember Gracie Films? Like, I think they're involved. Like, it's not only just, like, 21st Century Fox. Gracie Films is the one who actually owns the likeness of the characters or something, and they all got to agree. Like, I think Disney owns it, but there's still these subsidiaries that get a piece of it from existing contracts, right? So they just got to make sure all of that's clean. So I would love it. It would be great. We'll see if it happens. That'll be a tough one. I think it's one of those things where it's like there's so many other easier licenses that John's probably working on. And, maybe the harder ones are just more long-term. Like maybe he's investing a little time each time or each day. Let's see. We got that. I have the Dig Dug version. 1 second. Anyone remember Hook? Yeah. Let's see. Grandma Boy, love that movie. You need a floor carpet adhesive for those DDR mats. I really hope Simpsons Bowling runs well. I've been looking forward to this cab for a while and had to do a lot of work to make space for it. Yeah, my understanding is that's one of the reasons why it didn't get announced. It was just simply the developer was still working on it. And by chance, I think a couple different companies were working on that, and one of them reached out to me and was like, we think we almost got it going. I'm like, what's this? He's like, bowling. I'm working on the bowling. And I was like, oh, okay, good luck with that. And it was right around the time there was, like, struggling. So I'm pretty sure it was all about, like, getting the right emulator, configuring the emulator that they're used for this very, very specific chipset, and getting it tweaked just right and configured so it would run smoothly. And I think they eventually got it. Hopefully They didn't cut any corners. I don't know what that game. I think someone had said that game is like 30 frames per second at the arcade. Like it's not a 60 frames per second game, and some games do that. But I don't know if that's everything I'm saying. I just foggy memory. Don't know if it's accurate, but so I wonder if it was just an odd game to do, or is just pushing the CPU a little beyond what's normal, or the GPU, and it just at first couldn't handle it until they got right shaders configured or whatever for it to be optimal. I don't know. When is Arcade1Up making this one? Wait, you're talking about Pac-Man? Not sure. Grammy Boys must watch. Simpsons is very tempting for me. Love the Simpsons. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes until 19K Fox goes. It looks like the reverse button is how you get the dip switch in settings for Defender. Is that right? The reverse button? How'd you get verification, Sony 4K Vision? Did you zoom in on some pictures or figure it out? That's cool, man. If we get confirmation that Defender has dip switches, that's cool. The only thing you need to be concerned with is the button mapping and video display output, with both QVC and Walmart Miss Pac-Man have the same buttons and screens. That's cool. Yeah, I might play with that. I really want the Pac-Man that I have to have both. I mean, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great? Is someone going to do this? Is there ever going to be a firmware update for the Partycades? Woo! What if you could load the Partycade firmware onto the 3/4 scale? Woo! Oh, is that naughty? Is that naughty? That would be so good. I mean, imagine all those people with Defender, and they're like, hey, the firmware for the Partycade Defender got leaked. Just load that sucker on your Mortal Kombat. Boom, bada boom. Switch out the button layout. And now you get the games list you want. See, this is where Arcade1Up could do. So some of those newer cabinets have that SD card. So why don't you just like, okay, come out with a Legacy next year. Make sure it has the SD card on it, right? And sure, it's the Defender cabinet, and the cabinet's fix a little bit more. And then sell us the other games that we want. Little pack. Like, yeah, you want these other games? Figure out the button layout. There you go. Everything is clean. Midway gets their piece of the pie. There you go. Maybe that's how you do it. I see it jumped on that. Okay, Hollywood Polo. Justin, what do you think about the upcoming Amazon Prime Wheels of Time TV series? I haven't seen that. I'll check that out. Disney owns Moo Mesa. I wonder if they own 100% of it, because a lot of times they own content, but they still have to give royalties to the person who actually drew it. Think about directors and producers and actors. Disney owning Star Wars, for example, doesn't mean Harrison Ford doesn't get the royalties. You know what I mean? So some people own everything that has to do with the content and doesn't have to get sign off on it. Think of musicians. Billy Joel still owns all the rights to all of his own music. No corporation does. As an example, this was on Howard Stern recently. He controls everything that has to do with his music, whether it's used on commercials, whether it's not. And so some other entity, like you always have to go through, I don't know, whoever does the distribution for Billy Joel, they're getting a lot of the money too. It's not like Billy Joel owns his own music 100%, but he has say in it. And so Moo Mesa, maybe it's owned by Disney, but maybe the artist behind Moo Mesa, whatever. So 19K Fox next. Let them know that I sent you there. And thank you so much for watching the extra long special. It's the end of October. We'll see you in November. Have a good one, guys. And we'll see you in the next video, which is 19K Fox Show. Go say hi. See you guys. Bye.